Hey guys, welcome back to Nath SuperCoach for 2024. In this video we're going to look at the top 8 midfielders. Alright, so this is who I think will be the top 8 midfielders by the end of the SuperCoach season. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button. I want to get to 500 subscribers before the season starts. Every like and subscribe really helps with helping me to get some more content out for you to help you navigate the 2024 AFL SuperCoach season. A little bit of a backstory to this video. In my day-to-day job as a teacher, we're trained to basically reverse engineer outcomes for our students. Okay, so it's a case of what do I want this student to learn by this point. So related to this video, most years I go in, I go, right, who do I think will be the top 8 to 12 midfielders for each SuperCoach season? And then I try to reverse engineer it, so I pick those 8 guys by the end of the season, or at least by the time my team is at full primo, usually around the buys. I have those 8 guys locked in. Okay, so I basically look at it that way. I'm trying to reverse engineer. It's not to say, of course, that there's players that don't, pop up halfway through the season. You go, oh, got to jump on them. Or it could be almost the opposite as well. You've got players that you think, yeah, they're going to be in the top 8, and they just fade completely. They have a shocking year, or they get injured, etc. Okay, so let's have a look. The first player I want is Bont. Okay, so 724,000. Here's Bont's averages. So 2020, 116.1. He's gone 119, 116, and 129. I see no reason why he can't do that again this year. I don't think he's going to go backward. I think with Bailey Smith out, there's probably a bit more midfield time to be shared at the Dogs. I think Bont's going to be right in the middle of it, especially if the game's to be won. He's got the golden ticket, so I think you can lock Bont in for 130 plus average at least. Second one, Christian Petrarca. All right, 667 for Melbourne. I think with the doubts and concerns around Clayton Oliver and the interrupted pre-season that he's had, I think it puts Petrarca now in a real SuperCoach relevant position. His averages there speak for themselves. I can't see why he wouldn't go 120 or at least improve this year if he doesn't have Clayton Oliver in the midfield for spurts of games stealing points from him. Of course, Petrarca's got the ability to go forward, kick a couple of goals when the game's on the lines. Champion data love that. SuperCoach points goes up, his average starts to rise. So I think Petrarca is certainly one I'll be popping into my side as soon as possible. Third one, the Touk train. Touk Miller from the Gold Coast, 545. Averages there, 105, 124, 120 and 97. I think last year's 97 was an injury-affected year. The main concern I have with Touk Miller is the Dimmer Hardwick effect in terms of, is Touk Miller going to be used the same as he was under Stewie Dew, or does Hardwick have a new role lined out for him? We just don't know. If it's the same role that Stewie Dew had him playing, I don't see a reason why he can't go 120. He's gone it twice before, and it's not as if it's in the distant past. It's only the last couple of years. So I think Touk Miller's one to look for, 545k. Sam Walsh is the next one. All right, so again, steady averages. Last year, 103 with an injury-affected season. Still, came home like a wet sail. I can't see him going underneath 110, to be honest with you. I think he's they're Carlton's best midfielder, easily. There is a bit of talk about who's going to run through the midfield with Cripps, Blake Acres, Chera, Doherty. There's a few that are going in that midfield, but I think Sam Walsh is going to be the highest averaging for Carlton, and I still think he's going to be one of the highest averaging midfielders in the comp, so he's in for me. Andrew Brayshaw. Again, averages quite steady. The good thing about Brayshaw and Freo and Port players, for that matter, is the buy structure this year. Okay, Freo and Port definitely have an advantage with the buys this year. So I think on that basis alone, he's worth picking. He's not as expensive as Clayton Oliver or Petrarca, so 608, a little bit dearer than Walsh, but I think he can go 110. Again, I don't see a reason why he can't go. He's one of the top midfielders there at the Dockers. Can't go past this guy, Lachie Neale. Two-time Brownlow medalist, so 617k, again, cheaper than Oliver and Petrarca and Bont. So for someone who's a dual Brownlow medalist, 617, it's a pretty good deal. I mean, 134 average during the COVID year, and he's backed that up with 110 and 122. Can't see him going below 115. I think Dunkley's the only one that'll steal points from him, and even then I don't think it's going to be enough to drop Neale's average too much. So I'm going to back Lachie Neale in. A couple of interesting ones now. Zach Butters. Probably a little bit overpriced, 636 for what he has put out previously. However, he was injured last year and still got 113. I think he's going to really he's either going to have a similar year to last year, or he's going to break into the next 115, 120 barrier as his career progresses. I've put him in for 110. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes 115, especially because he got 113 last year. But Butters is one I'm looking at, again, primarily due to the buy structure. That helps too. So, and the last one, Errol Goulden. Now, I really like the look of this guy, 622,000. Almost won the Brownlow in his third year. So he hasn't, he debuted in 2021 with an average of 76. I think we all had him as a rookie in that year. I know I did anyway. 2022, improved again to 85, and then a huge jump to 111 last year. So I think he'll go 110 plus. I think he's got the ability, kind of like Bont, with the sort of golden ticket, I think. And again, almost won the Brownlow in his third year. The umps are going to be looking for him now. And it's going to be a case of, I think he's going to be able to replicate that quite easily. A bit of a left field option, but I think I'll back Errol in. So here's my top 8. Bont, Petrarca, Miller, Sam Walsh, Brayshaw, Neal, Butters, and Goulden. That's who I think will be the top 8 midfielders, okay, by the end of the year. And that's how I'm designing my midfield this year. I'm going to try and get these 8 guys in. So when my team is at full primo, or at least by the end of the season, I can look back and go, right, I've got these 8 guys as my top midfielders. Okay, so unlucky to miss. There's a couple of guys that will be around that mark that I could have substituted. Rory Laird's one of them. I think he'll go anywhere from 105 to 110. I think he will probably regress slightly this year. He's another year older. I've picked Laird since 2015, 2016 it seems. Every year he was the sort of defensive staple for a long time there, and then he obviously moved into the midfield at Adelaide. I think Dawson takes a few points off him as well. I think the ceiling with Laird isn't there anymore as it used to be. It was consistently 110s, 120s in defence. It's sort of there, but it's kind of coming back a little bit. I just feel he's going to probably regress slightly to maybe 105 this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes 110 or more. It's certainly a possibility. But I think with Dawson there as well, I think it's a little bit going to be a little bit more tougher for Laird. And the other one is Luke Davies-Uniacke. Now, there's big talk about LDU. I'm still not sold on him. Got to be honest, I'm not sold on him. I haven't seen him put together a few years of really injury-free footy. I know there'll be North supporters now in the comments saying, "What are you talking about?" Da, da, da. But I think anywhere from 105 to 110, I would think he'd be. So it kind of puts him in that top 8. But 635,000 again still not sold on him. Not to say he won't have a breakout year this year, and then I'll have egg on my face. But I think, yeah, I don't think he's going to be in the top 8. He's one to look at, though, because I think in the next couple of years, if he can put a good season together this year, then you're going to start to see a little bit of history, and he'll progress from there. The other thing, of course, with LDU is there's a whole cattle of North players to sort of rotate through that midfield. You've got the likes of McKercher and Dersma from the draft. You've got Taron Thomas and Simpkin to run through there. You've also got Sheasel. And you've got Wardlaw. You've got all these players that will run through. So how's that going to affect LDU's points? Will they steal points? Potentially. Will it be enough to drop his average below 105? Probably not, but it'll probably stagnate, I would think. And the third one is Clayton Oliver. All right, spoken about before. Now you might be thinking, blasphemy. I just think with the concerns over his pre-season, he's missed a fair bit of the pre-season. He's coming back, and then he took more time off, and then he's back again. Interrupted pre-season, how does that prepare you for the actual season? Probably not a great thing. 674,000. It's a lot of money to pay for a guy who's, hasn't been training the house down, as they always say this time of year. I think he's going to drop to that 105, 110 average point. So he's going to be in the category of a Laird and an LDU and a Butters and a Goulden, that type of range, not the Bont, Bont Neal category, but he's going to be probably the next one down. And I think that helps Petrarca, as I said before, because without Oliver, or at least with Oliver's, if you can't get a string of games together, that helps Petrarca. Petrarca's, of course, got the ability, as I said before, to go forward to really, maximise his scoring output. All right, thanks, guys. That's who I think are going to be the top 8 midfielders for the AFL SuperCoach season for 2024. Let me know in the comment section who your 8 are, and if I've missed anyone glaringly, please let me know. If there's any other videos you'd like me to create for you, please let me know in the comments as well. And there's plenty more content to come for the pre-season. We've only got about 4 weeks to go to round 1 now, or, well, round 0. So hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss any more content. Thanks, guys. Talk soon.